It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and we'll get to see a pair of teams who fought multiple times in the Super Bowl. The action is only moments away. All that and more coming up next.
Wet weather squarely in the forecast this afternoon in Santa Clara, California at Levi's Stadium. Welcome again, everybody, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and yes, the rain is falling now, and it is supposed to continue to fall throughout this game. So how do you think that will impact this contest?
Well, first and foremost, both quarterbacks are going to make sure the officials have those dry footballs coming in each and every play and standing over them sometimes with a towel before the center gets up there to snap it. Second thing is the focus of all the guys who handle the football. Do they wear gloves? Do they take them off? Will they carry the ball high and tight to make sure they have good ball security? That's paramount in a game like this.
They were Super Bowl opponents twice in the 80s, and they're back at it here. The Bengals and Niners are underway. And running with power here. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. And they'll be led out by their third-year quarterback.
And there's a word that constantly gets thrown around with this guy when you talk to anyone in the building. Potential. They are sky high on what they believe he can grow into in the role of a starting quarterback. In addition, there are plenty around the league who think that as well. And years from now, he can still be leading this offense out.
Purdy going to the air right away. Gets this to his running back. It's Christian McCaffrey. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 16 yards on the game's first play and a quick first down.
Nice little nifty play for him there. Yeah, that's the ability to read a defense and utilize players that don't often get picked up in coverage easily. And I'm talking about being able to use the backs out of the backfield. Because I know that when I used to cover, hey, we got everybody oh, he just snuck out there, and they just got a nice first down there.
What do we love to say? Get those backs into space, right? And they were able to do that there. Nice pickup on first down. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Purdy will set up to throw it here. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. It'll be a pickup of 8 on the screen, and it sets up a third down.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so, and gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it, and really gets them amped up as they go forward.
Buying time to his left. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first.
That looked great when he first took off because, in my mind, there was room to run and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with his 4th down call.
So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. So out of bounds on the punt, and the spot will be, the side judge says, right at the 35-yard line here. Here are the Bengals on offense, and here is Joe Burrow ready to lead them at quarterback.
Hey, we all love a good story, and what we like even more, guys who can fight through adversity. Joe Burrow coming out of high school, goes to Ohio State, doesn't get a chance to start, transfers to LSU, not thought to be a top prospect, ends up the #1 pick in the draft, and justifies it. Tremendous play, excellent mobility, and leadership off the charts.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Over the middle, he finds Higgins. So the completion good for 7 there, and it's 2nd down.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
They're passing here, Joe Burrow. That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
Well, he left no doubt about that one, because even though he hasn't left the pocket, he's got a receiver in the area, so it's not grounding, even though there's no way that ball was going to be caught.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. They'll run for the first time here with Brown. And he is going to have a Bengals first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They go right back to the ground here, and Brown. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. That's caught, Andre Yoshivas. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10, right at the 40. Burrow will throw. He's got Higgins over the middle. So the completion good for just 3. And it's 2nd down. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. Short completion, just 4 yards. And this will wind up being a 3rd and 3.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line. But once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Solid opening drive so far, Charles. They've moved this football into field goal range, but you know that they want to cap this off with 6 and not 3.
Absolutely. As one of the better coaches in the league always tells me, on offense, I want to throw body blows all game long and finish it with uppercuts. Well, here are the body blows right now. He's hoping in one uppercut will take care of the end of this drive.
Over the middle, that's caught by Chase. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
The ball resting on the 20. Here's 2nd and 6. Burrow looking to pass. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
And not able to get it that time. He hit on 6 straight passes. Not there. Second down.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
And Burrow going to throw again. And he'll spot Higgins open left side. And he's able to get this down to the 5-yard line before he's out of bounds. They get 6. That'll leave him with 3rd and 4.
Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his 3rd completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to...
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Joe Burrow, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Bengals get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon.
If you're going to play quarterback in the NFL, you've got to have great vision, and you've got to remain calm when things break down in the pocket. Both of those traits were on display there. He surveys the situation, sees the middle of the field open, so he's just going to step up and take it himself. Very well done there.
Evan McPherson for the extra point. And we'll see if this rain affects the team's decisions going forward, but they kick it here, and it's good. So that drive spans 13 plays.
And it was Joe Burrow who took it himself for the touchdown run. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
Back out there comes the 49ers offense, ready for their second drive.
Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's a 2nd and 9. Here's Purdy.
And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Well, we've seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is, because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have the 49ers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey.
To the 43, 2nd down.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Second down and right back to McCaffrey.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 13 yards there and a Niner first.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
The Bengal pressure gets him that time. Down he goes.
Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Purdy looking to throw.
And that is incomplete.
That's well done defensively. They get the pressure they needed on 3rd down. All the receivers are locked up tight, and they force that quarterback to just throw it away.
Here's Mitch Wishnowski now on to punt. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their 2nd drive. And they'll be looking to make this a 2-score advantage. Had the touchdown on their first drive, Charles. Hey, they can get up 2 scores here on the road. That's a heck of a start.
And not only have they thought about it, I wonder if they visualized it. I remember playing, and they used to turn the lights out in our meeting room and run through a situation like this and say, just think about what it would be like to be up on the road and take the crowd out of it. Maybe they did some of that.
Man open left side. It's his running back with it.
Down the left sideline. And he's going to get this all the way down to the 2 before he's wrestled out.
A big play there on the catch and run. 75 yards.
Oh, man, disappointment that he couldn't finish that off in the end zone. What an effort there, doing all he can to get to the pylon, and he's going to wind up out of bounds just short. But a huge play there, going to set him up with 1st and goal from very short range.
Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation. Now they'll bring one of their tight ends in motion right.
Brown. He is going nowhere in a hurry as he is going to lose yardage here in a big way.
It's a loss of 4 on the 1st down play. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Start of the 2nd quarter, and it's the Bengals in control of the football. Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. As they've got it as we resume action.
Another run for Brown on 2nd down.
And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down.
And this time he is in.
Yes.
Chase Brown taking it in from a yard out. And the Bengals have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. Well, he finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL, a complete back. 3 downs, stay on the field, run it, and catch it. And he gets it done.
Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0.
49ers, nothing.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, second down.
I think if they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on first down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. This is 2nd and 8. Now Purdy. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a first down.
I can't be sure how much of that was planned pre-snap, but it certainly opens up some avenues for their offense. And if he can stay a threat to break off those kind of runs, it'll pull defenders away from coverage and open up some choice throwing lanes for him moving forward.
Purdy now to throw. Got a man right side. It's McCaffrey. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Throwing here, Purdy. Another grab here for the dynamic Christian McCaffrey. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
I believe I could see what they were trying to do there, but unfortunately, the back ran out of room. Too close to the sideline. And for defenders, we're often taught, 11 on the field, those sidelines can become the 12th defender. It worked to the defense's advantage on that play.
Flushed out right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. There's Sam Hubbard that time in there to bring him to the ground. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
The Niners on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and forever. Back to throw, Purdy. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow They can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the first down.
That's on target, but it's no good. He had it on line, but it came up just shy of the crossbar, and this will remain a 2-touchdown game.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have, and think back to our meeting with the head coach, and we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
From just shy of midfield, here's a 2nd and 4.
Now Burrow. Dancing to his left. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
Remember, Brandon, he ran for a touchdown earlier, so his decision to go ahead and tuck it and go again turned out to be a wise one.
And the decision is what is important here. He has made some good decisions on when to tuck it and go. Here's Burrow. Throw left side here, complete to the tight end, Gesicki. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice, easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he could break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
2nd down and a little more than a yard here.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Eluding the pressure right.
Burrow on his toes that time as they get the first down.
Facing 2nd and short, that gives you a chance to go for a bigger play through the air. But I think he said to himself, why not I just handle this one? Got all the yards he needed and then some, and made that snap a huge success.
Now it's Burrow. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line.
Yetur Gross-Matos getting in there to make the play. Well, that's not how you hope to draw it up there on 1st and goal, CD, by taking a sack like that.
Well, they tried to be aggressive, didn't they? They didn't want to try and work their way past the goal line. They wanted it right there on that play. Unfortunately, it backfired against them. Now they have to try and pick it up here moving forward.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. Now it's Burrow.
This one complete to Yoshivas.
2 yards on the pickup there. And now what we have here, a 3rd and goal.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
3rd and goal and still a long way from the end zone.
Looking to throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
So on 4th down, off goes Burrow. On comes Evan McPherson for the Bengal field goal.
From the right hash, this a 31-yard attempt.
McPherson's kick is good.
And that will extend their lead even further. So 3 points there, and they continue to build this first half lead.
Yeah, every little bit helps, and the more that you can put together drives and start controlling the tempo, controlling possession, finishing with points, the better off you're going to be.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. And San Francisco gets set to go here. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
This to the sideline and over everybody. Incomplete. No flags forthcoming, though. Maybe a break there. That looked like a clear throwaway to me. Here's 2nd and 10. Purdy. This will be caught at Samuel. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
And a nice job by the two of them to not only connect on the pitch and the catch, but to carry over their practice work to the game field. They saw the adjustment by the defense, made an adjustment themselves, and picked up the first down.
Purdy will set up to throw it here. That's complete. It's Brandon Ayuk. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Purdy sets up to throw again. Throw left side. McCaffrey's got it. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
But they certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball, possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
Hauled in left side here by Jennings. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tougher, guys trying to get to the football.
And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. Purdy from the gun on third down. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Coverage there by Von Bell.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
So Purdy off and Moody on for the 49er field goal. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. And that is no good. And the deficit will stay at 3 scores.
And this is one of the risks you run when you attempt a long field goal. If you miss, the defense takes over at the spot of the placement. So now they've got a chance to get one more drive in before halftime.
And out now, here come the Bengals. They've had a very solid first half, and as we near the end of that first half, they're just looking for a little more on top of their lead right now.
And when you put together a game plan on offense, you put together what you think is going to be the best possible scenario, right? Hey, we're going to score. These are the plays that are going to do it. But you also put together your counters, meaning after they make adjustments to what you're doing, what do we have to go to next?
The adjustment to the adjustment?
Exactly. So I can't wait to see if we come out of the half, how they're going to go about doing things. Do you just keep running what you ran before, or do you go to your counters expecting those adjustments to happen?
Before that, we'll see the end here of this first half.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable second down.
And they'll send the tight end in motion left. From midfield now, Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. So they'll get nothing out of that play, and that'll leave them with a 3rd and 2.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. From the gun on 3rd down is Burrow.
Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. Burrow looking to pass. Now a short one to Gesicki. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
Now 2nd and 5.
They're passing here, Joe Burrow.
He's going to have the hook up here to Chase.
The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
Burrow will throw.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they get 5 there on 3rd and 2.
They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. He hit his first. Now this one from 48 yards away.
McPherson's kick is good.
And that will extend their lead even further.
So this lead, Charles, just continuing to swell here in the first half.
Well, it's interesting. When we talked to them prior to the game, they told us that their game plan was take no prisoners, and they've lived up to it so far because everything has worked. No guarantee that'll continue, but all in all, this coaching staff's got to be very pleased by what they've seen.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away.
So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports Halftime Report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach.
This was an extremely one-sided first half. One team showed up, ready to go. The other's been in a daze thus far, but there's still plenty of time left for this one to tighten up significantly.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Bengals offense and Joe Burrow getting set for this next drive. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him, and he'll look to keep it rolling right here. The Bengals drive about to get going. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
Now a 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And 3rd and 8 now. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And the Niners get there and bring him down. Malik Collins coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
The Bengals bring out their punter now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Niners will go on offense, 1st and 10. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. The drive will start with an option going left. And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. Score that tackle for loss to the Wyoming alumnus, Logan Wilson.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts because he definitely needs some assistance.
Purdy now to throw. He'll get this underneath to McCaffrey. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he's got the first down, yardage before being taken down at midfield.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right, he's pretty much been completely neutralized. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and it'll be second down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone, and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
They run the option on second down. And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35.
The decision to keep it turns out to be a good one. 11 yards in the first down.
Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there and worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
But look what we have here, a sustained drive, and that was certainly AWOL in the first half. They really struggled to try and move the football. But right now, they certainly seem to have the formula working. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
Purdy looking to throw.
Escaping the pressure right. And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
This is where the NFL is headed year by year, partner. A league where just about everyone has someone under center who can get you with their legs as well as their arm. And we've certainly had a nice display of that from both QBs in this game. And that continued with that first down run.
They'll try to run with McCaffrey. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
2nd and goal from inside the 5.
Now Purdy. And that almost their first INT of the ball game. Had his sights on it, but he couldn't seal the deal.
Now we got 3rd and goal coming up, and couldn't you imagine being in that huddle, partner? You know they're looking at each other saying, we can't come away with just 3 points after this drive.
Yeah, they've covered a lot of ground. They want more than that 3. They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. So now 4th and goal. You're trailing by a decent amount here. What are you doing, Coach Davis?
Well, I've got to think to myself, just how many more opportunities am I going to have this close and have this chance? I've got to go for it right here. The clock's dwindling on me. Let's go get it done.
And his kick is good. And that will move the deficit from 20 down to 17.
So the 3 points there, and CD, that helps them inch a bit closer.
Yeah, partner, when you're losing, any points you see go on the board in your favor, you're happy to take them.
So following the touchdown, here's Moody back out to send it away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here.
Well, these guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
An inside give, Brown. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
On 1st and 10, here's Brown. We'll get this up to about the 44.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
2nd and 7.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Over the middle, he finds Higgins. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 38. Play action. It's Burrow. Now a short one to Gesicki. And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
From the 33, here's 2nd down and 5.
Now it's Burrow.
That's complete. Once again, it's Gesicki.
And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 15-yard line. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
Down inside the 10.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD.
Andre Yoshibas.
A 15-yard touchdown grab as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further.
So another touchdown there, and even though we're still just here in the 3rd quarter, kind of hard now to see them giving up this lead.
And this is just an offense that's imposing its will right now. You name it, they're able to do it. If you're the play caller, whatever you want to select is there. You want to run it, you want to throw it. Pick a play, any play. They're rocking and rolling right now.
And McPherson on for the extra point.
And the lead is now 24. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it ends with a Bengals score.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape, up past the 30. The Niners offense and Christian McCaffrey ready to go once more. And you look at his numbers as a pass catcher in this one. They've lined him up in different spots, shifted him around, and made him a real weapon in the passing game.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
On first down, this is McCaffrey.
He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4. Second down. Another modest gain there on that one, and I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
Trying for Ayuk, but it's intercepted. Picked by Logan Wilson. And the Bengals are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line.
Okay, partner, no surprise to you. I'm going to look at this from the defensive perspective. In the rain, you have to be more cautious trying to cover passing routes. Why? The offense knows where they're going with the football. The receiver knows the route he's going to run. You have to make sure you keep your footing underneath you.
Joe Burrow trots out again with the rest of his offense.
5 for 5 that last drive. Touchdown pass as well. He was clicking. Receivers, I don't want to be cliche, but running really solid routes too.
And what I love about it is when you look across any team, all right, the body types of the receivers are usually different. The way that they get open, different as well. Some of them use power to get open. Some of them use those head fakes and subtle moves. Some of them just use pure speed. And the really good ones, when they're established, they know how to push off at the end of a route, too.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
2nd and 10 here as we roll along in quarter number 3 from Santa Clara.
From the shotgun, Joe Burrow.
Open man is Yoshivas.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 23 yards the pickup there.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
They'll give this up the middle to Brown. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
They work now on 2nd and 9.
Here's Burrow. Going up top. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown.
Andre Yoshivas
with now his 2nd touchdown of this 3rd quarter.
And the Bengals will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Well, on the other sideline right now, it's just absolute dejection. But, Charles, let's focus on the positive. With the lead that they built here, they've done pretty much everything to perfection in this ball game.
They certainly have. Makes me think that their week of preparation was excellent. And they flowed into this game, and it carried over. And right now, I don't expect them to back off at all. They're playing so well, they just want to keep it going.
McPherson now for the extra point.
And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it's finished off with a Cincinnati touchdown.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. San Francisco's offense returns to the field. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him. This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front and getting to them. Other times you add extra guys rushing the quarterback, twists and stunts. It's been a variety, and they've had no way of blocking them.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here in Santa Clara. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Throwing on 2nd and long. Purdy. That's to the sideline and incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete as well.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Here comes the 49ers punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fair catch called for. No gimme in these conditions, but he's able to look this one in. The Bengals offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive.
But not that any of the points would be needed, but CD, they've got enough time left here. They could definitely score on this drive, maybe even an ensuing drive as well, if they really want to drive home this landslide victory.
Yeah, we're certainly about to see just how aggressive they want to be here down the stretch. And what some coaches do is they try and meet it halfway, meaning they want to continue to run their offense, but they'll put in a lot of backups to do it and then tell the opposing coach, hey, I had to get them some work too. I can't just let them sit over on the sidelines all the time.
Another run for Brown on 2nd down.
And he's got this one across midfield into 49er territory. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Now the Bengals on 3rd down. They've hit on 6 of their 8 tries. Very good. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Now it's Burrow. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
This is Brown going up the middle. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
This one complete to Yoshivas. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 26. These two have hooked up 9 times now this afternoon as they pick up the first. Now Burrow. This will be caught by Brown. Calling a gain of 6 on the play, and that will bring up 2nd down.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. They'll bring the tight end in motion right. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to 3rd down. Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach, and maybe you and I should attend that press conference and see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier, and he wanted to use that as a...
And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And now this is scooped up by the 49ers. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
In today's NFL, most teams don't have as many goals for the game like we used to have, where you checked off your boxes. But 0 turnovers, that's a universal. And while it won't likely cost them in this game, they're going to regret the fact that they coughed one up here.
Yeah, their first blemish. They had mistake-free football prior. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. So on 4th down, off goes Burrow. On comes Evan McPherson for the Bengal field goal. McPherson's kick is good.
And that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
So after the made field goal, here's McPherson to send this one away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The 49ers ready to set up shop again offensively. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line, 1st and 10.
At their own 28-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Steps away to his left.
And Purdy finds a way to move the chains. He slides to a stop, and he's got the 1st down.
This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
Has not been a big game for him throwing the football. I think he feels like, let's try something different. Let's use the legs here and see if we can make some plays.
And no passing touchdowns, yardage not where he would like it. Try something new, it worked there.
The throwing here, Purdy. And that one into the hands of Ayuk downfield.
And he is out of bounds inside the 35.
It's another first down as this time they get an even 20.
Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Purdy. He'll get this out wide here to McCaffrey.
Yeah, that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be second down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's a second down and 4.
Up the gut, McCaffrey. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
So here's Moody back out there now to send this one away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Cincinnati set to take over once again. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Now, Bengals on third down. Can't fault these numbers. 7 for 9 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A good pickup there, a 22.
Partner, I have to tell you, just one word keeps coming to mind from watching them this afternoon, and that's impressive. They have been impressive from the opening kickoff, and they haven't let up here even into the 4th quarter.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Here's a give to Brown. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
When the 4-3 defense is functioning really well, you know who stays what we call clean and no one gets to him? The guy playing the middle linebacker position, the guy we call Mike. That means the defensive front is eating up all the blocks and just let him go to the football and make a play.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away.
Another run for Brown on 2nd down. And a good job of finding the open space to run as he's down close to the 30 here. Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They keep it on the ground. Again, it's Brown. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. That whole thing was thrown off track thanks to the defense of Fred Warner. Really nice play.
This offense has had a lot to like in this game. I don't know that last play, though, is going to make the highlight reel.
It's not going to make the highlight reel, but it will be the focus of the film session that the team has to sit through. I've sat through those before. Never any fun. You're always excited about your good plays, and they actually fast forward through those. All right, that was good. All right, great. They get to the bad ones and really illuminate them. Not cool. I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
They got to get it to the 21 here on 3rd down. Handing it off to Brown. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the 1st down marker. And well, they could just run this clock out, but here is the field goal unit on 4th down. This from 44 yards away. And this one is right through. And that will extend their lead even further.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say so long from Santa Clara.